Hey, Fritha. Thank you for joining me, and thank you so much for giving me some feedback today because it's really important in order to help me improve my services, but also to help other people so that they can see what kind of work I'm doing and what sort of results my clients are getting. So we met last year, didn't we, when we were networking? I think it was for networking we met.
Yeah, it was it
And for
actually.
it was, I can't even remember. I think it might have been the summer or the autumn that we met
Actually,
last
yeah,
year.
initially, yeah.
It was. And yes, just from that initial conversation, we decided to follow up with each other. And I wonder if you could just introduce yourself a little bit about like what you do, and then for people that watching this can sort of get a feel for who you are and what you do.
So yeah, my name's Fritha and I'm a social media and online marketing specialist. And I basically um help other businesses to put out great content online that attracts their ideal clients and remove that overwhelm and confusion that can come with the world of social media. So many places you can put your content, so many different types of content. It's going to be very confusing as to what you should be doing. So I help people to work out what works for them. Yeah, so basically training and coaching and work from home the majority of the time. So sat here in my office most of the time, and that's how I work.
Great. Yes, and definitely that world of social media is mind blowing, isn't it? It can feel a bit overwhelming for people. So it's good that you help people find the messages and help them with a strategy and train them how to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
help people to do it for themselves. I love that. Love that. So Fritha, can you just explain a little bit about what your health issues were when before we started working together? So when we first met and we first had that sort of follow-up conversation, what were the health concerns for you?
So all of so I'd say for all of 2022, I was getting gradually more and more issues with my digestion. Kind of didn't really notice to start with, but then realized it was getting more and more troublesome. I was getting a lot of pain, a lot of bloating, um, and just a lot of different issues, and couldn't really pinpoint where it come from. I've never had any sort of allergies or intolerances or anything other than dairy, which I've known about for years. So it was a bit sort of confused as to where this had come from, but realised it had been building and building and was getting worse and worse. And it got to the point where
Mm.
I'd say around about by September, I got to the point where I couldn't eat anything without being in pain every time I ate. And it was really affecting me. Especially every time I was going out to eat or out of my normal kind of routine, I was ending up crying. It all came to a head. I was at a really nice event, a charity ball, and spent half of the evening crying, sort of hiding away from everyone just because I felt so uncomfortable. So because of that, I went to the doctor, but obviously it's quite difficult when you start with any issues with your GP. I've had a number of tests and things like that, with various things being ruled out. And then with everything being ruled out, have been referred on to see a specialist. Unfortunately,
Mhm.
with the NHS and the state is at the moment, I still haven't had an appointment. So I realised I had to sort of take matters into my own hands. And so that's when I sort of started looking into things a little bit more and started taking some actions to try and work out what was going on and improve my own health. And then sort of met you, Maria, at the right time, really, when I was sort of kind of quite early in that journey. I'd done a few things already, but still wasn't 100% right. Hadn't really worked out what everything was. So then it was, so yes, that was a good sort of time to come across you, I
It was
think.
fortuitous. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything aligned, maybe. Yeah, and I'm so glad we did. And I remember when we first talked, and obviously you explained your health problems, with regards to your digestion. But what impact did it have on other parts of your health and your well-being, having these digestive issues?
Yeah, so it was having like just a massive effect on my entire life, really. Sort of physically, I just felt really tired all the time. Even after I'd worked out some things I needed to cut out of my diet, I just didn't really have very much energy. And I think that I was really stressed as well because I just had built up like quite a lot of anxiety around food and eating because I didn't know what was going to happen. I felt like then it was also negatively affecting my relationships with my friends, because I wasn't really wanting to go out and eat as much, or I felt like I was being really awkward. So I think it was having, I was not only was I tired all the time, really, really low energy, then it was stopping me doing the things I wanted to do, like go out with my friends, but also take part in activities like I like bouldering and things like that, because I just either didn't have the energy, or if you're having digestive problems, you don't want to sort of be midway through an activity and then realize that you're really bloated or cramping and things like that. So it was just having this massive sort of negative effect over everything, really. So that was something I wanted to see if I could sort out as well, raise my energy levels, and feel just a bit more in control again, because I felt completely out of control.
Absolutely. And that sounds familiar to me as well. I've had those issues with digestion, and it does impact every part of your life, doesn't it, really? Especially when it gets to that point that you're in pain and it stops you socializing, and or it creates that anxiety because you can't do the things that you want to do, that you think sort of like should be quite normal things, really, in terms of enjoying your life. So thank you for sharing that, Fritha. So what has your experience been like in terms of anything that's changed for you while we've been working together? We've been working together for a few months now, haven't we? And what are the changes that you've seen?
So I mean, firstly, energy wise, I've got loads more energy now. Just working with Marie and getting some advice on the types of things I'm eating, but also how I'm preparing my food and when I'm eating and things like that has just made the world of difference. So I feel like I am consistently getting good levels of energy now. I'm not having so much of a slump in the afternoon, or if I do, I know how to deal with that or how to prevent it. I've got more energy in the evenings to actually do things after I finish working for the day. So that's been great. My digestion has improved as well. It's still not perfect, because I'm also still waiting to see a doctor, and we never know what's going on. But it's definitely massively improved from where it was. So things are working in the right direction. And now if I do have a bit of a kind of hiccup with it and something goes wrong, I feel like I've got kind of tools and things to maybe get know what to do that can help it and help fix it, and get back on the right track again. But I think as well, what's really, really helped me is it's sort of almost, and I've kind of mentioned this to you before, where it's given me permission to prioritize my health, which I think I have previously felt like I was doing. I felt like I was quite a healthy person, exercise regularly, eat pretty well. But I realized that actually maybe I wasn't prioritizing my health as much as I could have been. And it's about more than just sort of what you eat and do you move your body. It's about all these other things around how do you think about your food, how do you think about your own wellness and your fitness goals, and a load of sort of psychological stuff as well that we sort of uncovered and realized that actually that's got a big impact as well, about some kind of beliefs I had around food, beliefs I had around my body, and things like that. And working on those as well has made me realize that actually I wasn't looking after myself the way I should have been or could have been. And now it's sort of given me the permission to really focus on my health as a priority, rather than something that's just a nice to have if you've got a bit of extra time or headspace. And in doing so, actually it has then positively affected my work life, my relationships and things like that, because actually your health is the foundation for everything, and it's not something you should look at if you've got the time. It's something you should prioritize, and actually it will help balance everything else in your life, which is something initially if you'd said to me, I'd have been like, no, I literally just want to sort out my stomach. But through working with you, I kind of realized all these other things that she's doing fantastic.
That's brilliant, Fritha. It's so nice to hear. It's a fantastic impact it's had on all aspects of your life, really, because I do work with body, mind, and spirit together, and I know that's probably a new way of working for you. And I know it's opened up some different ways of thinking and different challenges, but also different results for you. So, what have you tried before we started working together? What had you tried before coming on board and working with me?
So before working with you, I'd done an elimination diet, which I put myself through, which was because I knew I was going to have to wait months and months to see a specialist. I was like, I've got to do something desperate. So I put myself on an elimination diet, which in some ways was good because it helped me work out some things that my body doesn't like, which I would never have expected. So I've cut out tomatoes and corn from my diet, and yeast as an additive, which were all things that featured very, very heavily in my diet before.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, the kind of effect of that was it does really drain you doing an elimination diet, because you can't eat very much to start with, and also you are sort of deliberately trying to stress your body out, and it's quite stressful. So although I'd sort of done that and realised those things, I still wasn't back to normal, and I wasn't right, and I think it almost made me possibly even more low energy than I already was. So I needed then to sort of build on something that was kind of about things I can add in and things I can do better, rather than the things that I need to take out as well, because I did feel a little bit as well quite despondent, sort of just before I was working with you, and I think you kind of realised that, because I do love food. And as someone who eats a largely plant-based diet anyway, I don't eat dairy because I know I've got intolerance to that. I don't eat meat for ethical, environmental reasons. I've had quite a limited diet, and so I felt very restricted, and really quite upset about the whole thing, because it just felt like my whole life would be very restrictive. So then working with you and actually you saying, oh, why don't you try this and try this, and sort of positive things to add on, was a very different way of looking at it, and has made me feel a lot more positive now about food.
That's brilliant. That's fantastic. I think it is one of those things when you have to go down that route of excluding, it does affect you emotionally in a way, doesn't it? Because you sort of think, well, I'm having to go without stuff. And it's sort of like depriving yourself of, especially when you find food joyful and enjoyable. And it does limit you. And I think I'm a great believer in adding positive things or nutritious things that will help negate that. So it's a case of including things that are healthier for you, more balanced. And we also looked at your energy, your particular energy levels, and what food would work best for you with your particular energetic situation, which is something that's really important, because one size doesn't fit all. We're all unique, aren't we? And I'm glad that you've enjoyed that part of it. Trying new things, and that's been great, fantastic. So, what have you learned about yourself from working together?
Well, yeah, we've uncovered, like, I think a lot of things that I didn't necessarily realise, things that were maybe deep-seated beliefs that I had, when you sort of challenged me to identify where those came from, I realised the things that actually maybe weren't true, or I didn't need to hold on to, which has really sort of, changed the way that I look at some things to do with my health. This feels very a roundabout way of saying it. Obviously, don't want to sort of go into a therapy session right now, but yeah, that's been great. So it's really, I think I thought I knew what looking after my health was, and I thought I had a healthy mindset, and it sort of made me realize that actually there's probably areas where I didn't have actually a very healthy mindset around things, or there are things that you challenged me on. I was like, oh, actually, yeah, and it's been something quite emotional to sort of deal with, but actually I think it's obviously worked for the better, and I feel like a sort of happier, more confident person, and definitely like it's made me feel more confident in myself and being myself, which seems again like a million miles away from Marie, please help me digest my food a little bit better. But yeah, it's also, I think you've taught me a lot of things around what healthy eating means. It's not necessarily what I thought it meant. And even simple things like you said to me, stop eating so much cold food, because it takes more energy to digest, especially if you're having problems with the digestion anyway. You don't really want to stress it out. So yes, you can eat a load of vegetables, but do you need a massive raw salad? That's probably not going to be very good for you. Heat it up, have a soup, have something like that, has made a world of difference. And even things like, you sort of said to me, like, you probably don't have enough fat in your diet, so to add more things like that in. And I think it's something that, even if you do feel like you've got a healthy mindset around food, we sent so many messages around, avoiding
Yeah.
fat and what is healthy and things like that. But you do internalize it. So it's been good to sort of
Yeah.
challenge that as well.
That's fantastic, and I think you're so right. We hear so many messages. It's finding out what's right for you, and I think that's been a great exploration together because everybody is unique. You're unique, I'm unique, and it's been great to explore the foods that you like, the exercise you like, the things that help you unwind and relax. And it is a complete picture, and it might feel a little while a little step away from sort of talking about digestion, but of course our emotions affect our digestive system as well. So it's about getting a nice balance, isn't it, amongst all of those things? And I congratulate you, Fritha, because you have learned a lot. And I know with working with you, you're making such progress each session, and you're challenging those beliefs and questioning yourself, which is great awareness. And when you have the awareness, that's when you can start to make some changes. So how are you feeling about your health right now and sort of looking to the future?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better about it. I know there's still a lot of things I can do to kind of build on it, but also I feel like I'm more in control now. I feel like I can make the right decisions for me, and I feel more confident sort of saying even simple things like, no, I don't want to eat that. Yes, I do want to eat that. Or, just even silly things where like I've kind of changed the times when I eat, because I found that actually kind of typical like breakfast, lunch, dinner times don't really work for me. But I was sticking with them because that's what you're taught. So I kind of realized that actually it's okay to make your own decisions,
Yeah.
really. And
Absolutely.
yeah, stick with
Absolutely.
what
And
you
you're
want
an
to do.
entrepreneur, you work for yourself, don't you? So it's one of those things that you're your decision maker anyway,
Yeah.
aren't you? So that's fantastic. It's great. Flexibility and relaxation with some of it as well, and not feeling so rigid about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. So what impact has your sort of improved energy and everything had on your business?
Um, yeah, I feel like I think I was going through a bit of a kind of slump as well, because I had no idea. I wasn't really putting out a lot of my own content. I wasn't necessarily feeling super confident, or I think, sometimes if you're not feeling great, you're not going to show up your best at networking or events or anything like that. So I think that's really helped me. I've had people saying that, I've got a good energy, or that they can tell that I've got loads of energy through a screen, which is really fantastic, because I think for a while, last summer I was seeing everyone and meeting people I know, and they were like, you look awful, you look really ill. So to go from that to people saying, you can feel your energy, you look really happy, you look really confident. That's been great. And yeah, and I think as well it's made me the health coaching in combination with business coaching that I get has made me realize that actually there's a lot of overlap between
Mm.
sort of the kind of mindset of it all. And I think working on the two things in tandem has made me have some really good breakthroughs in the last few months as well. And be
That's
really clear
awesome.
with the decisions of where I want to go with my business. I've been definitely attracting more clients in the past few months than I was in the few months before that, when my energy was really low. So yeah, it's having a good impact.
That's fantastic. And really, I mean, your health is reflected in the health of your business, essentially, isn't it? Because you're running the business. So
Yeah.
it's amazing that it's helped all aspects of your life have improved. So thank you for sharing that. And one last question, I guess, what would you say to somebody, maybe a creative entrepreneur like yourself, who is finding themselves a bit stuck with their health issues?
I say, yeah, definitely give it a go and ask for some help. I've definitely always been a person that's tried to work everything out on my own, which works to a certain extent, but sometimes you need someone else's input and someone else's perspective, especially when it's something like your health, which is so unique to you. You can't just follow all of the conflicting messages that are out there on the internet. And also, you do need to prioritize it. I think it's a thing we know we should be doing, but we do put it off. We prioritize everything else instead. But actually, if you do prioritize your health, you will see such great changes in every other area of your life as well. It is really worth doing. And yeah, I can see why people kind of put it off, but actually you will see tangible benefits not only in your health but in everything, if you maybe just let your guard down a little bit and ask for some help.
Brilliant, brilliant. I congratulate you for doing that, Fritha, because, like you say, it can be difficult, it can be a challenge for people to ask for help. But actually, it's a sign that you want to make some changes and you want to improve things. So I think that's a real show of strength. So well done. It's been a pleasure to work with you, and we continue to work together, don't we? So I just
Yes.
want to say a big thank you to you for trusting me to help you with your health challenges, and really excited and looking forward to working with you in the future as well as
Yeah.
we expand your goals and get even bigger and braver with your goals and your vision for your health and your business and your future. It's
Yeah.
really great.
No, it's been fantastic so
So
far. Thank you. Thank you so much for all the help so far.
thank you.
It's made such a massive difference. I'm really excited to carry on working with you.
Oh, thank you, Fritha. It's a real pleasure. Thank you very much. And if anybody that's watching this, if any of this resonates with you, please reach out. I offer a free consultation if you want to have a chat with me. But thank you, Fritha, once again for sharing your story. And hopefully, I'm sure it'll inspire lots of people because it's such an inspiring story. And congratulations for all the work you've done. And I'll see you soon for our next session.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fritha.
Bye.
Bye.